Running back Miles Sanders has struggled over the last couple games coming out of that big week 14 game against the New York Giants where he finished as the running back 3 overall and finished with 17 carries for 144 yards, had 2 rushing scores. His subsequent games against Chicago, 1.4 fantasy points for 42 yards on the ground and negative 13 receiving yards against Chicago. That was bizarre. But then the follow-up performance against Dallas, 21 carries. At least he got the volume back, but 65 rushing yards, only 6 receiving yards at 1 target. And Miles Sanders has had 1 or fewer targets in the majority of his games this season. He finishes the running back 39 last week. He gets New Orleans this week. And there were questions about whether Miles Sanders was going to get cleared to play against the Saints, but he was cleared on Saturday, had limited practice on Thursday, should be good to go. But these most proximate games, plus the injury report, plus the Philadelphia Eagles, yes, they have like things to play for, but they can lean on the Boston Scotts and Kenny Gainwells of the world. Gainwell had 8 touches in the Week 16 game against the Dallas Cowboys, 8 touches for 58 yards. So you're not hating what Kenny Gainwell brought to the table, 7.8 points in half PPR. But the recent performances for Miles Sanders have to give you pause. And then the New Orleans Saints are a respectable defense. So Miles Sanders being drafted as the running back 17 feels a little bit high. And then even as the consensus running back 13 on Fantasy Pros, I don't know if I can get behind that because Miles Sanders has finished as the running back 23 or worse in 5 of the last 7 games. Okay. So I don't know if I can get to running back 13 for Miles Sanders. It just feels too scary of a lift. If you like the content and you find it helpful, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. If we can find ways to maybe argue ourselves out of Miles Sanders, if you could think like Jerick McKinnon, Brian Robinson, Tyler Algier, maybe even over Miles Sanders, I wouldn't be hating those picks. Miles Sanders against the New Orleans Saints, they always play the Eagles pretty tough. So I have reasons for pessimism on Miles Sanders. Still running back 2, but the recent performances give you an eyebrow raise as to what's going on.